Overall, for the detail, I think they made this figure look really detailed. I really love the fact that they mixed a blue translucent plastic throughout this, whether it's in the swords or the shoulder pads. It just really makes it stand out and also helps to find them when you lose them. But also, as you can see in the back, they did put it onto the back gears, I guess is what you'd call it. There is a couple of problems with the figure as far as the detail, which I'll get into right now. One of my only problems with the figure is, in particular, on this head, or hair I should say, it has a bit of a paint blotch there. A bit of a mistake, obviously. I'd assume that was just more of a QC issue, unfortunately. The only other issue I have is the fact that some of the paint decides to stain the skin tone over here. So that's something to keep in mind if you do want to get this figure. Overall, though, I do really like how it's detailed. I do like the straps that they put here. I think the strap should be a little bit longer, though. It doesn't look like it connects here, but overall, like I said, the detail is pretty good. It's definitely there. I really like how they detailed the propellers or the blast, whatever the hell you want to call these things right here. And this just fell off, but that's fine. This is also really well detailed, though. Really like how they mixed the red and everything into it. I know that's how it is in the anime, but I mean, you should stay close to the source material. But yeah, detail, I think they did a fine job on it. Anyways, let's move on. The articulation on this figure, I think it is actually quite well done as well. The biggest thing that I think really benefits this figure is the accessories being able to articulate alongside the figure. So even when it comes to the blasters on her legs, you can move them, you know, side to side here, which is all you really need. I guess it actually, even that way, you can actually move it a little bit more out. Obviously, it just popped off there, but quick, easy fix, or at least so I think. 1 second. Or not. There we go. But even the accessories on her, like I said, can articulate. Even the shoulder pads right here, you can move up and down, even though this thing does tend to fall off, as you can see there, which is a bit unfortunate. But overall, you can get her into pretty much any pose you want. And as I said, these things being able to articulate really does benefit it. Because if you wanted to have her slashing a sword, say, right, if you weren't able to articulate this would get straight in the way. And with it being able to do that, it definitely benefits it. The figure itself, as far as its articulation, the only thing I think they could have improved on is maybe the torso, because there isn't much mobility in it. I mean, I don't need her to hit Spider-Man level of poses, but I think that she should have a little bit more in the articulation. So if this company was looking to make any improvements as far as the articulation, I think the torso would be the only aspect that I think is a little disappointing. The arms, though, are pretty good. They don't have double jointed, but it doesn't really hinder it too much in this case. So that's definitely another thing they could probably add on to their future figures if they really wanted to improve on it. Overall, though, like I said, pretty good as far as articulation, and this thing keeps falling off, but let's move on. So as far as accessory goes, it does come with this light novel, but it is completely in Japanese, so this is kind of useless to me, even though the cover itself is really cool, so I'll probably keep it. Probably just throw it with my manga and stuff, but I mean, apparently on the eBay description that I bought it from, it said that it was the current light novel, like it was the most recent one. But then when I looked it up through my own little research of just doing a little Google like AI search of the image, it apparently is like a bonus chapter and like more just meant for the cover. It does also have some cool pictures of the figure itself inside, and of just in general some specs of the figure. I think it's towards the back over here. Yeah, you can see the whole like suits like broken down to a certain point. It's pretty cool. But the actual figure's accessories that it comes with quite a few hands. It comes with these, like, obviously with some like grabbing hands, some like karate chop hands, as I like to call them. Of course, your usual grabbing hands, and some trigger hands as well that are on the figure. And of course, your usual just grabbing hands. This one's more meant for the sword, which I'll get into in just a moment. This sword is really, really cool. Obviously, one of the accessories that comes with it. It is strange, though, because it does come with an accessory of its own. And that's the fact that it can pop. This can pop off, and obviously you can put the hand onto it. But for some reason, it comes with a different handle if you want. The only difference between them, as I can tell, is that it has a little blade down here, which is bit strange to me. I'll probably end up keeping this one on it just because I think the blade at the bottom looks pretty cool. But it does come off as strange to me because many of the accessories that it comes with are just different options. As an example, these can go around the shield that it comes with. So these actually can come off, as you can see, and you can put the things you can put these guys there instead of having those if you would like. Of course, it does come with the propeller or the jetpack thing. I don't really know what to call it. I've watched the show before, but I don't quite remember what these things were called. You can put the shoulder pads on its own. It does come with something to do that. I think it's this little thing right here. It does come like that in the package. Jesus Christ, I'm sorry for my stuttering there. But to put this thing on, you actually have to pull this out, which was a bit of a pain to plug it into the figure. And to plug it into the figure, as you can see, it has a little hole in the back. There's also a hole more towards the back right here, and that's meant for this, which obviously is supposed to be kind of a part of the suit. But this also has an option where you can put this piece on, which kind of holds weapons, whether it's the sword or the gun you want, or you can just completely take that piece off and just have a regular piece, which again looks fine, but it just doesn't have the little grabber piece. This is a part for the gun, and of course we have the gun itself. Again, this can just attach the gun. A lot of interesting parts. It's just a bit weird, some of the parts they decided to include. This was definitely one of the action figures I needed to read the instructions for, because it is quite strange. Of course, it does come with a couple of different face scans as well. My only complaint when it comes to the accessories is the fact that it only comes with one set of these head things, and I found that quite annoying. In case you're wondering why, if you don't have those in, it leaves gaps like this in the hair, which of course you could just have her face and head on and you don't notice it. But it's just kind of annoying that they just couldn't, make just, I guess, one mold of it without those in, because I feel like they gave you already so many options that I don't understand why they did that. I don't know. It also does make it harder when you do want to replace faceplates. Makes it quite difficult because you have to make sure that those are actually in there correctly and stuff. Overall, it does come with quite a good amount of accessories though, so I can't complain. But let's move on. As far as her scale goes, she's a little too big for the Figma scale, as you can see. I'm not quite sure what Figma scale is. I know their figures run quite small, but as you can see, her standing up next to Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was, I think, around 6 foot, so definitely not accurate at all here. She'll definitely stand really well with your SH Figure Arts figures, as you can see here. Deku's around 5'5", she's around 5 foot, so if anything, she's maybe a little tall, but you can kind of blame that on the boots to a certain point. And Tiger Mask is, I think, around 5'8", so maybe not completely accurate, but it's not glaring enough where, it's like, ain't no way she that tall. Like, at least she doesn't feel like Shaq compared to these other figures, is what I'll say. She actually works really well alongside wrestling figures as far as the height goes, or scale goes, I should say. She's around 5 foot, as I previously stated, and Roman's around 6'3", so it makes total sense for him to be towering over her. And I think that's actually around what the difference would be for the two people in that height, obviously. But in a real fight, obviously we all know Origami would beat Roman. Not, our tribal chief will never lose his belt.
I'm the tribal chief around here. Yeah, you see me, the tribal chief. That's right.
And of course we have her right here next to my cartoon collection, She-Ra and Motu Ninjor TMNT crossover. She isn't completely accurate, but I think she scales pretty well for the 5.5 scale. Overall, would I recommend this figure? Yes and no. My only issue with this figure is its price point, because this is a 2013 figure, which I was surprised by. Considering it was released in 2013, this figure holds up quite well. But the big issue with it is the price. I paid around $100 for it, but I mean, some people were trying to sell it upwards of $200-300, and I don't think it's worth it at that price point. If you could get it at 100, maybe 116, maybe 120-ish, and that's kind of pushing it. I would say yes, but even that way, I would say you'd have to be a fan of this series, and especially a fan of this character. I don't think the I don't think the average person would really be willing to spend that much money on some random anime chick just because she has some cool robot stuff. If you want a random anime chick with some cool robot stuff, there's plenty of other new companies coming out with really cool stuff with way better articulation. Not dissing this figure in any way. Like I said, I love this figure, but that is definitely, if that's what you're looking for, there's definitely better options out there for you. But as far as this figure itself, I really do enjoy it. I really do like it. I will also add in, for me, personally, this is a figure that I believe is one of those that I think you pose up and you put it on the shelf and you kind of just leave it there. Maybe you repose it. But to me, this isn't one of those toys you take down from the shelf and you have fun messing around with and articulating and moving around and stuff. Just because so many of the parts are kind of fragile and they come off really easy. Even with me actually gluing these on, because I'm not sure if I mentioned the accessories or not, but these did come off really easy and I ended up just gluing them down with some crazy glue. Like I said, overall, I really do enjoy the figure. If you're a fan of the series, I don't think you can go too bad with this. I definitely think it's better than statues. I'm not huge on statues, so that's kind of just how I see it personally. If you want an action figure to represent, your love of this show, this is definitely worth it in my opinion. If you can find it at that price point, like I said, of around the 100-ish. I don't think it's worth $300-400 like some people are trying to sell it online for, so don't give in to that price. To me, that's just fucking ridiculous. But yeah, overall this figure is really cool, and considering it was released in 2013, which is fucking crazy. I didn't even realize that's how old this figure was up until I just googled it. That is insane that this figure has held up so well since then. So yeah, would definitely recommend the figure. Anyway, so let me get y'all the fuck up out of here. I'm sure you guys are tired, and so am I. Let's go. Anyways, just wanted to say thank y'all for watching. If you did stick all the way to the end, Jesus Christ, I'm stuttering over my words. But before we go, I do gotta announce the winner of our both of the winners for our 200 subscriber giveaway. Yay! The way we're doing this shit is the same way as last time, with paper and a hat, except there's gonna be maybe 2 winners this time. Originally, I was gonna do like specifically make it where only one person can win each one, but then only 3 people participated, so I figure if one person wins both, it ain't the biggest deal in the fucking world. Besides that though, since we only had 3 comments as well, I'm gonna be going over your guys' favorite horror movies. Oscar, you said The Evil Dead. Personally, I've only actually seen clips of the movie. It looks good, but the only thing with the Evil Dead franchise, it's kind of weird just how the films go on, because I think it's like the first 3 films are essentially the first fucking film. They all kind of go over the first film for some reason. I think it was like some type of issue with copyright or something, which is kind of weird. But the thing, Josh, is what Josh said. Another movie that like I should watch because it's a fucking classic. That's what everyone says, but I've never watched it all the way through. Then again, my track record with classics isn't great. I didn't like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and like everyone swears that movie is like one of the most terrifying movies ever, and I'm just like, what about it is terrifying? Speaking of terrifying, Nick picked The Terrifier as his favorite horror movie. And Nick, I like the original, but honestly, the sequels I could give a fuck about. The second one was just super weird to me. The third one, I just didn't really know what to think of it. It just feels weird. I don't know, there's certain parts of it I like I like the part where he literally somehow blows up like a shit ton of kids. I thought that part was kind of funny, just because of how shockingly fucking out the blue it comes. But besides that, I don't know, I don't really think too much about those films. Anyways though, to decide which one we're doing first, head is for the pink, tail is for the regular. Let's get it. Did I say tail for the black? I think so. So we're doing the black one first. Putting names in the hat. Shaking the head up. By the way, they are going into a Sean Strickland Cancel Me hat. Why Sean Strickland Cancel Me hat? Because it's one of the hats I had on me. I don't know. Let me not look into this shit. Mix it around a little bit. And if I can fucking grab it. Oscar, you won. Yeah, so Oscar, you won the black one, apparently. You can possibly win the pink one too, though. I know you wanted the pink one, you told me in person. Because I don't think you left in your comment. You know, let me go check if you did. Okay, yeah, you didn't mention in your comments, so you did win the black one. Next time we hang out, I'll give it to you. You could possibly win the pink one right now, too, since we're about to raffle the pink one away now. Who will it be? Will it be the same motherfucker winning it again? Oh, shit. Nick, you won the pink one. Congrats, cuh. You win the Zesty Ghostface. So that's our winner for today, folks. Josh, I'm sorry you didn't win shit, even though I will be giving you some shit next time I see you anyways. I know you said you would want that Supreme Gundam, so I'll be giving you that anyways. So, no hard feelings anyways. And on top of that, I'll be throwing that little Berserk Lego minifigure I bought a while back just because I haven't read Berserk nor have I watched the anime, and I know you were a big fan of that, so no hard feelings towards that anyway. Anyways, though, that does it for today's video. Hope you guys are doing well. I hope all our winners are happy, and hopefully I'll catch y'all next time. Sorry my uploads have been kind of slow with it, but yeah. See ya.